A thick green fog covers the port of Philadelphia. Sailors run, shout, some collapse to the ground convulsing. Before them, a naval destroyer vanishes without a trace. Only the smell of ozone remains and the echo of an impossible roar. Was it a military accident or a tear in the fabric of reality? Welcome to the Lamp Files, where we explore the mysteries that defy reason. Today, we'll tell a story where science and madness intertwine. The Philadelphia Experiment. The alleged U.S. Navy attempt to make a ship invisible that ended up altering something much deeper. The origin of the project. The year is 1943. In the midst of World War II, Navy engineers seek a technological edge. Rumors suggest scientists from the Manhattan Project and advisors inspired by Albert Einstein's theories were working on electromagnetic camouflage. The idea? Bend light around objects, making them invisible to radar. The first test. The USS Eldridge, a newly launched destroyer, was fitted with magnetic field generators. On October 28, 1943, they powered up the coils. Witnesses claim a greenish mist formed around the ship, and then it vanished. For minutes, radar lost it completely. When the Eldridge reappeared, something was wrong. Sailors screamed, disoriented, some with burns. Others were fused into the ship's metal, their bodies embedded in the decks. And still others simply were gone. The Navy denied everything. They claimed no invisibility experiment ever took place. But internal files mentioned a project called Rainbow and censored communications between Philadelphia and Norfolk, exactly where the Eldridge allegedly appeared seconds later, over 500 kilometers away. Several witnesses claimed the Eldridge was seen that same day in Norfolk Harbor, over 500 kilometers away, before reappearing in Philadelphia. A trick of perception or a spatial jump? The Navy called it coincidence. The sailors called it teleportation. The impossible witness. Years later, a merchant seaman named Carl Allen sent letters to researcher Morris Jessup. He claimed to have witnessed everything: the electromagnetic field, the men trapped in the hull, the horror of watching them fade away. His letters spoke of teleportation, interdimensional travel, and unified fields inspired by Einstein. Einstein and the scientific myth. Einstein never took part directly, but his unified field theories fueled the idea. The notion of bending space and time through electromagnetic energy sounded like fantasy, but war had already made the impossible possible. What if someone really tried to use those equations beyond control? In 1955, researcher Jessup died under strange circumstances. Shortly after, the Navy received a copy of his book, filled with handwritten notes, supposedly from Carl Allen. Someone had annotated the margins with comments about invisible ships and time jumps. Some believe the experiment wasn't about invisibility at all, but a failed attempt to open a portal. That the electromagnetic field destabilized time and space, and that the Eldridge touched another dimension for a few seconds. the side effects. Survivors spoke of recurring nightmares. They said their bodies vibrated with invisible energy. Some disappeared for seconds before witnesses. Others died without a trace. It was as if a part of them never fully returned. Sailors who later served on the Eldridge claimed to have seen green lights inside the compartments. Others said they heard voices calling for help from the ship's walls. And some swore they saw human shadows moving beneath the metallic paint. Decades later, the mystery remains unsolved. Was it a Cold War hoax, a fabrication, or a truth buried under layers of military secrecy? Sometimes myths survive because no one dares to prove them wrong. The voices fade. The files are sealed. But one lamp remains lit. Subscribe to the channel, listen to the podcast, so this light never goes out. Because as long as someone listens, the mystery lives on.